Hey everyone. So the other video, this last video was getting kind of long, so I wanted to go ahead and kind of split it up. This takes a long time, so bear with me. Especially doing it at my speed. Oh, flies open. Alright, so now what I'm doing, I have my dovetails all marked out, where they're going to go. And then I have a very light line, unfortunately, that I need to mark with a knife. One thing you should probably do is mark what the tails are by marking which parts you're going to be cutting away. Right, so you're cutting the recesses for the pins inside the dovetails, right? So that's where I want to cut, right? I want to cut here, 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 and here. I do not want to put a knife mark across here. Even though this is the inside, it'll be seen later if somebody wanted to, I don't know, critique my work. So you're just going to put a knife mark, or get your knife. It's a super light line. Right where that is, where you made your pencil mark earlier. Make sure you're registering off of the bottom. The bottom is your registration face, because everything else, you're going to end up planing the top of the box all at once anyhow. So make sure you're registered off the bottom, and then well, I needed to do that on this side. So my nick's already there. And then make sure it's good and set. Don't cut the tip of your finger off like I did yesterday. This is a very awkward position. I was trying to do it to help you guys, but just be careful not to go past your line into your tail. You don't need to mark all the way. It's not paramount that you mark all the way to the line. Your line's coming down for your tails. I'd rather stop short of that line by a little bit than go all the way across. Alright. I kind of got cattywampus there on one section. So once you've got that, now you have to transfer them over. Transfer those marks over. Let's get a bigger registration. Right, so this is my squiggly line. That's my face mark. So I register off of that. I put my knife into the nick that I made from the last piece. Register off of the face. Move up to, and then I don't mark it. I mean, I can't, well, no, I do have to mark this one. I won't mark the pins though. So go ahead and mark this because I'm going to be cutting that. And then Same thing here. So I have to transfer these marks with my pencil. Here's like this so you guys can kind of see it. So I'm just going to put my, this is really awkward. I don't know how people that do this, just move it up to your line, transfer it over. I'm just doing one side of the tail. Okay, then come back and do the other side. Walnut makes this very difficult to mark. Not impossible, but alright. So there you have that side. Now I have to transfer these marks. Do it on this side. Make it a little less awkward for me. So I marked it right there already. So get it in that knife neck. Alright, I gotta go off of this side. This is my registration edge, so I have to go off of it. And then I'm simply doing nicks or marks at the bottoms where I'm going to be cutting those recesses. Really light the first time. And then heavier and heavier. All right. One last edge to do. This is where your bread and butter comes, because your marks have to line up. All right, so this is my face. That knife neck. This is where all those measurements come to rest. This is where they join back up. Now here I had made this one out there is not the mark that I want. That one is the one that I want. And it matches up absolutely perfect. So that is that. And the good thing about this bench, the way it is, and the vise and everything, being so beefy, I'm actually going to move this because we're ready to chop tails now. I'm hoping like hell you guys can see. Well, let's just see if you can. A lot of people pull it out of their vise to chop. I'm just going to chop in it. That's why I built this the way I built it this way for that reason. Trying to get everything else out of the way. Now these pins are only 5/16. So I have to get something that's going to not only match, I can use this I can use one chisel, right? So just so you can kind of see. This is too wide, right? This is just a little bit too shy, so this is the one I'll use for that, but it's too big up here where the tails end. So I have to go in with this guy. Alright? So that's my 1/4 inch. So they're 1/4 inch, well, a little less than a 1/4 inch, or a little more than a 1/4 inch, or 5/16, right? And this one, this chisel here is a 3/8 chisel, because we mark it up here and then we go down from there, so it's going to get larger. And then I don't know if I've got my 1/2 inch chisel is. My 1/2 inch chisel would probably be perfect for in there, which it would be, but it's mounted into my. I don't have a 1/2 inch chisel that's sharp and ready to go, so it is what it is. So with this, let me turn that music down a little bit. Right, we'll start on this edge. Just go into that knife wall. Well, you know, I got so excited. We need to cut these first. Can't believe I got that far with it before I realized I have to cut these. All right. Well, that's how real life goes. So let's see if we can get this going. So I'm making this box for my mom, and last Christmas, she bought me this dovetail saw. It's a Lee Nielsen dovetail saw, 15 points per inch. It's a rip saw. A little dovetail saw is amazing for work like this. This is actually a large dovetail, large thick dovetail. It is 7/8 inch wide stock. So, all right. So there's a lot of ways that you can do this. A lot of ways that you can do this as far as having guides and jigs and stuff like that. I don't use any of that. I just cut, and then whatever. Maybe I will later on, but I don't see any point in it. So for my application. Now, what you need to remember, I don't know, maybe it'd be better to get sawdust all on my computer, but what you need to remember is that you got to start. Now, you won't be able to see nice until I get here, but you're going to start straight up and down and then kick your saw off, but you have to make sure that you're on the waist side of the line, right? So where that mark is, I don't know if you can see it or not, so I'm going to mark it with this guy. I'm removing those sections right there. I'm going to be cutting those out. So well, it's already marked that. So make sure you cut on that side of the line so that you can pare down to your line. Make it a good clean, exactly what you wanted, right? So start straight up and down. I start on this very far side right here, and then drop my hand into the cut. And once I get a straight 90 cut and I'm in there good, that's when I get my eyeballs lined up. Line up my my saw with the angle. I'm a little bit high on the vise, so I'll have to drop off a little bit. And even if you were to mess this up, it's not the end of the world, because you are and I don't go all the way down to my line. I stop short, just a hair. Remember, cut on the waist side. It's trickier than you think sometimes to get something not perfect like that. So that's why a lot of people use jigs, and I'm not perfect either. I don't claim to be. So I'm using the dovetail saw my mom bought me to make her a box. Just being careful not to go all the way to my line. Cutting on the waist side. Now it's the opposite. Just make sure that you're staying on the left side of the line now. Straight up and down. Until you get all the way in. I'm getting a little bit of vibration because this is on the outside of my vise. And this angle is a little bit tougher. And I drop my hand, as you can see, because it's easier to follow the line on my side than with some other obstacle. In my way. These pins are actually going to turn out a little bit skinnier than I probably wanted. I'm losing my line. Start it. Make sure you're square. Now go to the line. All right, one more cut. So I'm getting it started. Then I go to the top and make sure that I'm perfectly straight this way. And I'm straight this way until I get established in the cut. And then I tilt it over, and I start dropping my hand and I follow that line. And once I get there, it's just a matter of Alright, so now everything is cut, and now I can start chopping. There's no way I'm going to finish this and get any sleep tonight. Well, I can go ahead and chop those off, and I'll chisel them real quick, but because I'm going to chop them off here in a moment. I'll give my little knife edge. Our little shelf there for my saw. But I'm not going to cut them just yet. Just making sure I'm over my vise. It's solid against the bottom. Now I can do all my work. To the first half anyways. And all I'm doing is getting these two, because these two will cut with a crosscut saw. Just coming up to that knife wall there. Make sure your chisels are sharp. Right. Get you a mallet. And then you want to go really really light on this one. Just because you see this pin is wider than this one, so there's that deviation that I was talking about. Because until you get that established, you don't want to bruise that wall, that back wall. You can go a little bit heavier now. My lighting is pretty terrible. All right, so that's that for the beginnings there. Now, I'm gonna put you here. Maybe you can see it even better. Now, I gotta turn my thingy off. All right, now what I'm gonna do is go in from the side and kind of scallop the sides, right? And then go right down the middle. Do that on both of them. Side to side, then the middle. Then come back in here with this guy and chop again. We'll go halfway down. And then we'll flip it over and do it from the other side. It's got a little bit hanging up there because I didn't go. That's the whole thing about not going all the way down when you're sawing. And go again. Straight up and down. Scallop the sides, come down, clean up the bottom there. Got maybe one more. Hopefully my battery doesn't go dead. Got the low battery light. I can't tell in the video mode if how much battery is left. For me, dovetails are very fun once you get the hang of it. They're challenging, that's I guess the best way. And I don't think we're quite halfway down yet, so we'll go one more time. And a little bit deeper on this one. Perfect. And you just flip her over and do it again. I'm not going to film that because I'm sure I'm going to run out of battery soon. we'll pop those out, and then I'll bring you guys along for cutting the pins or chopping the pins, or I should say the dovetail recesses. Which that, realistically, that's the easy part. Easier anyway. You don't have to get into a groove. You just kind of blow out all the excess, and you can cut these out. You can go in there with a little coping saw and kind of slice all that out, and then just clean up the bottom. Really, if you wanted to do that. And what I mean is just kind of coming in there with a coping saw and then slicing out the bottom, popping that chunk out after you've sawn down all of them. Chop that or saw that little piece out right here, and then just pare down the bottom of the joint. Seen that done? I've done it. I've actually done that method. I'm not a fan. I like doing it this way. I mean, unless it's a huge joint, there's no point, in my opinion. So, yeah, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you like digging what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up or subscribe if you want to see more. Yeah, if you're watching this, you're not new to YouTube or anything, so do what you got to do. Friends and family, I love you. Everyone else, I'll see you on the next clip.